Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice, to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinions about a variety of topics. Joining me, as always, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, doing really good. Can't complain. Doing fine. Fair bit to talk about. But firstly, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad actually. I'm not bad. I had a pretty good week. Pretty good week. So the temperature's, I don't know what it's doing down there, but it's been like double digits up here this week. So that's been nice during the day
Uh-huh.
anyway.
Oh, double digits.
Yeah, it was 10, 11 degrees the other day.
Yeah. It started off very cold. It's very cold again tonight. It was about 3 degrees earlier. I don't know if it'll be cold enough to freeze. I'll have to defrost the car in the morning. I'm not sure. Scrape the windows off. I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
And my
Yeah.
neighbour called me over to his house. I was like, "What's up, mate?" And he was like, look at this. He's got snowdrops coming up in
Oh.
January. It's unheard of. We might be
Oh.
having a really early spring, or just it might be a lie.
We will have to see.
Yeah, so
But,
close. We'll talk about that for sure. That's a topic I could go on for hours. Oh,
what is?
Chris Hansen getting arrested again.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you'll know who Chris Hansen is. I only know because I lived in America during the time of Dateline,
Yeah. All right. So go on. Who is Chris
which was
Hansen?
right. So, have you ever seen the meme of the child fiddler coming to the house and some reasonably attractive bloke going, "What are you doing? Take a seat."
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, well, that's Chris Hansen. He used to star in NBC's Dateline, where they used to entrap uh, kiddie fiddlers, and he'd just basically make fun of them, and then the police would arrest them. Which, do you know what? I thought there was nothing wrong with it. It came to an end when they ensnared a very well-connected kiddie fiddler who killed himself, and then that dude's sister sued NBC and won. I don't know how that works, and they had to cancel NBC
Right.
Dateline.
Okay.
And since then, Chris Hansen's career is just he was going to do it again on YouTube, but of course, there's a ton of Predator Catcher channels on YouTube already. I don't like them. A lot of them are just bullies. But then, I guess if there's one person that deserves to be bullied, it's Kiddie Fiddler.
How
But
well proven are these allegations?
which allegations?
Being a kiddie fiddler.
They're always proven. They've always got someone posing to be a minor talking to an adult. The adult will send them naughty pictures. They'll show all the evidence they've got. I mean, it's always proven that they're kiddie fiddlers.
So he was caught through sort of sting operations.
Yeah, exactly. Sting operations. The best YouTube predator catchers work with the police and actually have convictions. The worst just following around with a camera yelling insults at them. I don't know how I feel about it. It's like First Amendment auditors. You know, you can do something really bad for a good reason, but does that make it okay?
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? Sort of the ethics of entrapment.
I'm just talking about the morals of doing something bad for a good reason. Like, do you know who Ken McElroy was? There's
I'm
a
not
really good
sure.
example.
I'm not sure if I
Okay.
remember the name. Go on, tell me the story of Ken McElroy.
Okay, there was a town called Skidmore, Missouri, right in Missouri.
Yep.
And in this town, there lived a man named Ken McElroy, right? And he was the worst bullying bully, whatever bullied. He stole, he shot people, he had a really good lawyer, so he never got into any real trouble. He married underage girls. Just like the worst.
Yeah.
So one night the town shot him.
Oh.
And like I'm against vigilante justice in principle because yeah, it's all right to read a Batman comic and go, "Oh, that's really cool." But in reality, people are people and old Mr. Abernathy keeps his lawn not mowed properly, so why don't we just go waste him?
Yeah, it's a justice is a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can think of one similar example that I know. There was a teacher called Big Bill Gardner, and Big Bill was it was this teacher in a mate of mine's secondary school somewhere on the south coast of Kent, and it was a grammar school, and this guy was had a reputation for being a real tyrant, and he was one of the, just quite simply, he was one of those teachers of the generation that really reveled in distressing kids or punishing kids. I mean, if you read Roald Dahl's autobiography, it's 10 times worse. I mean, that's where it was absolutely normal and standard practice for head teachers, especially, to cane their pupils. And they had this. Roald Dahl details this. I've segued. I've fallen down the rabbit hole of Roald Dahl. I'll get back to Big Bill in a moment. But what happened was, as Roald Dahl recounts, these people, these head teachers would go through this whole ritual of making them stand in a line and wait while he went and got the cane out the cabinet and polished it, lit up a pipe, smoked a whole pipe in front of them, and then made them all bend over and turn and smack their asses in excruciating pain. And to a much lesser degree, of course, with Big Bill, he used to make them play a game at the end of lessons sometimes, where every question they got wrong was an extra question there to do an extra homework question. And my impression of my mate's impression of this guy goes a little something like this: right then, you lousy shower. Now we're going to play a game called the homework game. Jenkins, turn this fraction into a top-heavy fraction. And this kid, under great pressure, gets it wrong. He goes, "No, sir, that's another homework question." And what happened?
Pretty good East London accent.
Well, I don't know where the guy was from, but what happened with Big Bill was several classes at once. Now, I don't know if it was by coincidence or by design, but several classes made false claims of paedophilia against this guy. They all sort of said at once, with this. I don't know what exactly they said, but they made these allegations, and he was sort of suspended pending investigation. And there was a news headline, that said, "Scandal mongers have ruined my life with their lies." And I remember this in excruciating detail. As long as, this is I was told this 25 years ago, but at least probably more like 30. And but I just, God, man, I feel old. But yeah, it's just, okay. So this guy was, clearly a nasty piece of work, but did he deserve that? Probably not.
It's another example. It's another extreme, isn't it? If a guy is deliberately bullying children, how far do you go to stop him?
Well, it's definitely if anyone had complained about, if parents had complained en masse, that might have done something. But if kids had complained a fair bit, I don't think anything would have been done. It wasn't that era. Nowadays that would be far less likely to happen, and parents' complaints would be heeded a lot more. But Roald Dahl's mum went and complained. She found these massive K marks on his eyes. She went and complained, and the headmaster would have none of it. Said, "That's how you're from Norway. This is how we do it in English schools. Too bad." And she pulled her kid out of that school, pulled Roald Dahl out. But what this I read in Boy by Roald Dahl is joint my favourite book of all time. Joint first. I'm staring at my copy now that I've had since I was, when it came out when I was about 10 years old. It's and that is where all these really nasty adults in a children's world come from. That's where Miss Trunchbull from Matilda comes from. It's where the Twits come from. It's where the farmers, Boggis Bunsen Bean and Fantastic Mr. Fox come from. It's where...
But do you know what? I'm going to stop you right there, okay?
Yeah,
the farmers were not evil in Fantastic Mr. Fox. The fox was stealing their livelihood. The fox was the bad guy in that story. And I'm tired of everyone going, oh, the farmers were the mean ones. No, they were just protecting their livelihood.
Yeah, fair enough. But they were depicted in very derogatory terms by Roald Dahl.
Well,
at least whether you're right. Yeah, point taken. Good point, Richard. Let's take that on board, shall we? But anyway, there we are. That was a big.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy's the bad guy. She shows up, murders someone else, and then politically destabilizes Oz. She's the bad guy.
Oh. I'll tell you what, in terms of rehabilitating the story of the Wizard of Oz, you have to look at Wicked, which was a musical, and is also a line of food in Tesco's, but I'm not allowed to talk about that. And it's also...
Why not?
Yeah, it's vegan food.
Ugh, the worst kind of food.
And it's also, steering away from that as quick as possible. It is also a recent film, and a bloody good one, where the Wicked Witch, it's her origin story, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Hannah and I went to see it quite recently, and we it was a great film. It was a musical, but it starts. It's so simple but so clever. It starts where an ordinary mum and dad in Magical World of Oz have a green baby. That's how it starts, because of course the Wicked Witch of the West, I'm not sure. One of them in the Wizard of Oz, because as you correctly pointed out, commits a load of murders. She lands a house on one of the Wicked Witches. I can't remember which one. But then it's the other one who's the villain of the piece. And it's about, saying, actually, look, this is how it all went down. And my God, it was a cracking film. Very pleasant surprise for many reviewers.
Huh. Maybe I'll give it a watch then.
I really would recommend it. I thought it was very well done. Great acting, great script, everything about it worked. I'm all in. Can't wait for part 2. And it doesn't shy away from the fact that the Wizard of Oz himself, as played by Jeff Goldblum, is a complete git.
An absolute con artist. Yeah, he's the worst.
Oh, he's even worse in this. So yeah, loved it. Now, how did we get onto that? Oh yeah, we're talking about
Chris Hansen, morals, Wicked.
Okay. So,
we're really good at going off topic, like with the best.
We don't even try and do topics anymore. So, one topic I was going to go for was the apparent forthcoming TikTok ban in the US.
SoFlo says he refuses to watch Wicked.
Oh.
Justify that, SoFlo. And tomorrow on the 19th is when TikTok's been shut down in the US.
Well, Trump has said he will most likely give it a 90-day reprieve. But
Well, I was thinking about this, but a lot of people make their living off TikTok. You make way more money off it. So the government will be denying a lot of Americans a source of income.
Yeah, it is a real own goal. Now, a friend of mine told me some things that are absolutely hilarious. And I think if you don't know this already, Richard, you might love it. See, I'm a little bit ill-informed in this one, but I like that. Whenever I think of I need to find out more about that before the show. No, you don't. We're called ill-informed. You don't have to do any bloody homework, which is great. So, I was looking. My friend Katie from Iowa told me about. Said what this TikTok ban is absolutely farcical. Neither Trump or Biden are in support of it, and what a lot of TikTokers have been doing is there's loads of videos have gone around viral about this, saying, right, what we're going to do to fight back, we're all going to download the official app for Chairman Mao's Red Book. And so all across America, as a way of fighting back, apparently TikTok viewers everywhere are downloading this app en masse. Now, it's written in Mandarin, so the thoughts of Chairman Mao, so no one can read it. But it's downloadable as an app. I can't remember, it's called Red One or something like that. It's called. But
Red Note.
So, pardon?
Red Note.
There you go. That's it. So, Red One is a really crappy film. So Red Note is being downloaded. You've heard of this then? It's being downloaded apparently across America, and also loads of videos teaching Mandarin and like translations and stuff have been doing the rounds.
Yeah, but it's another Chinese app like TikTok, so that one's probably going to get banned as well.
Well, yes, yeah, it is. But anyway, it's hilarious.
Zhao Hongshu.
So that's what that's what I've heard about this.
Personally, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't see how they can get away with that in America with the First Amendment and everything.
Yeah, they're so into free speech, but well, they'll say it's a foreign app. That's how they'll get around that, I would think. But for a country that is so keen on free speech, they let Elon Musk get away with calling someone a paedophile just because they didn't want to use this submarine. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, Musk is Musk. What do you want me to say? I mean, he managed to ruin Twitter after buying it, and I don't know even how you managed that.
Well, I've been debating this with a friend of mine. I've got I keep a very wide circle of friends, and I friends with people I disagree with hugely about things, and I still find I'm able to be friends with them. Why? Because, well, I don't want to subscribe myself to the level of modern culture where you surround yourself with an echo chamber and you cancel people and you block people. I don't want to be that person. Tolerating it's a classic liberal dilemma, how to tolerate the intolerant, but I just listen. I listen to everything anyone has to say and either agree or disagree with them. But I mean, there's a line. I would not be friends with somebody who was openly racist. And I don't think I'd be friends with somebody who's openly homophobic. But then again, I am friends with people who are, to some extent at least, who are of the old school level of Christian thinking that, believe that homosexuality itself is morally wrong, if they won't go as far as to say that, they'll at least say that they can't condone homosexual relationships or marriages, which I find incredibly sad. But for people like that, I will always want to, I think to say, well, I'm never going to speak to you ever again, would you be any better?
No, you would not be.
So, but it is a tricky one. And, obviously I'm far more impressed with Christians that say, oh, this is absolute rubbish. Love is love. And a harmful relationship is not one, depending on what they've got going on between their legs or whatever gender they call themselves. It's whether or not it's a kind and supportive relationship or an unpleasant, emotionally abusive one. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, I can't remember how I got onto that. I'm riddled with ADHD tonight. But God, I don't know how I fell down that rabbit hole. I really do not. But no, Elon Musk and free speech and stuff. We were back there. We were there a minute or two ago, weren't we?
Yes.
But for any of our listeners who didn't know about the submarine thing, it was when those Thai boys and their scout leader got trapped in caves in Thailand. It was an absolutely phenomenal and heroic rescue job by some British cavers. They flew out there and they knew how to navigate underwater caves far better than the Thai Navy SEALs. But they worked with the country superbly to save the life of every single boy there. One Thai the cave diver died during it. Respect to them. But anyway, during the middle of all of that, what happened was Elon Musk tweeted, "I can fly over my miniature submarine." And they said, "No, don't be so ridiculous. This is no use." Or they might have just ignored it. And Musk's response was to call him a pedo guy. And he went to court, but the free speech thing was dominated, and Musk was acquitted of any hate speech type things. But the laws in America are very much in favor of free speech. So
and the rich.
And what?
And the rich.
The rich.
The rich, yes. Laws are in favor and the rich.
Well, yes, absolutely the rich. Yeah. Of which Musk is sadly too. But this particular mate of mine, who I don't agree with on many things with, they believe that Musk did all the right things with everything he did with Twitter. My mate has a balanced view of Trump, pros and cons, but overall he's in favor of what's happened to Twitter since Trump's taken over the reins. Which is a bit meh.
Such is life. US is going to be a circus for the next 4 years from SoFlo. I mean, all the anti-Trumpers said the world was going to end the last time he was president, and it didn't. We just got some hilarious tweets out of it. Oh, and that scene where during COVID, he told those actual scientists that maybe we could inject bleach into us to kill the virus. That was quality gold.
What, who, Trump?
Yeah.
Well, he said that on live TV, didn't he?
He did. It was like one of the greatest moments of my life.
Well, a couple of people did it and died, if I remember rightly.
Well, that's just like, I hate to be that guy, Tom, but that's how natural selection works, all right? If you've reached the stage of adulthood and you don't know that injecting bleach is going to kill you, I just don't know what to tell you, man. Mind you, there were some grown-ups eating Tide Pods, so...
Eating what?
Tide Pods, them colourful tablets you put in washing machines.
Oh, dear.
I just,
Oh, God. Do you know what this reminds me of? One of the saddest scenes I've ever seen on television. And I'm sorry to bring the conversation down in mood, but have you seen the Russell T Davies masterpiece of a show called It's a Sin?
No.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It's about the AIDS pandemic, or the spread of AIDS in the gay community in the 1980s.
Okay.
And it is terrible. And there's these rumors going around of these things you can do to treat it, like drinking battery acid and things like that. It is absolutely tragic to see. It's one of those ones you have to remind yourself that you're watching actors and that it's what you're seeing isn't real. It's that unpleasant to watch. These poor people Oh, fucking hell. It's
It was a
terrible.
horrible time.
Yeah.
These days, AIDS isn't even a big deal. If you keep medication in your viral load, though, you can live a full life.
Apparently so. I mean, still wouldn't want to risk it personally.
Yeah, still don't want to get it, but still,
It's not the death sentence it used to be. That's for
no,
damn sure. Yeah.
it's not the end of
Oh,
all times.
yeah.
Oof.
Oh, blimey. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with TikTok. I don't know if it really will go. We will have to see.
I don't know why they want to ban it at all. If I'm being honest, I don't actually know the official reason. I just know their why. Gabby's usually good. Gabby, what's the official reason for them banning TikTok? I know that my friend says it's they just want to stop the flow of non-controlled information. But Rumble and Kick exist, and no one's controlling those sites.
Hmm.
You're right.
Yeah, just sneeze. Oh, I sneeze this sometimes.
Ah, screw it. I'll just Google it. Why is TikTok getting banned?
Hmm.
Do 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 do. Apparently, TikTok's ties to China pose a threat to national security.
Yeah, that's
What?
it. Yeah. It's about China.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
It's. I think they're worried about the amount of data that American users are sending back to China. That was what I would imagine is at the heart of this.
Literally, because China, dude. When I was a kid, if something was made in China, you knew it was good.
Transformers.
Yeah.
They were some of the first really high quality toys. Oh yeah, Star Wars were before that, but I mean, I think that was golden age of toys. Oh yeah, let's fall down that rabbit hole. What
Golden
toys?
age.
What toys were your favorite toys as a kid, Richard? Dude.
I had those awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that flipped between a small turtle and the big turtle versions. They were
Okay.
awesome. I had Raphael, which was my favorite of the turtles.
Yeah. I'll tell you when I
had a Leatherface as well, which was cool. I used to make them fight.
Is that a villain in it?
Yeah, that was the crocodile villain in the Mutant Turtles.
Oh, I still loved the first film. Was it 1990? That
Got
was
the live action film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all three.
Oh god, they've been rebooted so many times. I have totally lost track.
Yeah, the last one, Mutant Mayhem, was really nice, and it was a feel-good movie, but it wasn't like proper Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was
I've
just
been. Yeah, it was. It was. Was it animated or was it live action or a bit of both?
It was animated. Sorry, SoFlo said, "Look up Bobby Kent murder." I'm going to do that. What was your favorite toy?
Well, I had a few Transformers, but I never really looked after them. I might have got them. I got them too young or something. There was a toy series called Manta Force, and the bad guy's spaceship invented for that was called Red Venom. Now, I bought one on eBay. I bought one of those on eBay, and I really liked it. It was this massive, great red ship. I bought it on eBay later on in life, and so I think it's in the loft still. And I liked, this spaceship, these wheels came out, all these other little ships came out of it. This wonderful Manta Force toy, Red Venom. I love that so much. But yeah, so that's why I bought it again. And yeah, that's fun. That is. But yeah, the plastic is really, really crude now by today's standards. The quality of plastic, it'd be like, imagine the cheapest the quality of plastic on the cheapest toy you could get, just before Christmas for a £5 in a market, something like that. That would be, or an indoor market, one of those shops that doesn't even have a name above it, kind of thing. Pop-up shop almost. It was that, just really crude plastic, but you could do so much with it. The way all these other ships came out of it, and all these little ones came out of all these pods in the wing. These little pods in the wings came out, and the wings were very much like the wings of a 747, and the engines would come out. There are two little blokes in each one of them, and they'd come out and they'd pop out these little wings. And there was one that was a mole that had a mole drill on the front and was designed for underground. One had skis. One had a little propeller on the back as if it was the submarine one, and one could fly. So it was just such there was so much detail in it that made it such a wonderful toy. Yeah. So I think Red Venom, which was the antagonist ship in Manta Force. My brother had the main Manta Force ship, which was like imagine if you got the saucer of the USS Enterprise from Star Trek, and just took the first half of that in a giant semicircle pointing forwards. That's what the Manta Force thing looked like, this sort of semicircle thing. The top came off and there was loads of other little ships inside. So it was a lovely toy. I had my brother had the good guys, I had the bad guys, and I don't remember us playing loads together or playing loads against each other, but I just remember how good this thing looked and how much fun you could do with it, how much fun you could have with it. One toy that I've kept is actually from the Transformers movie. In fact, I'll go and get it. Do you know Richard? Do you know the original Transformers movie? It's like maybe 1986. It might have been
the old cartoon one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
before all the Michael Bay crap. Yeah, the Transformer I've got is from that. Let me just go and get it. It's just in the next room.
The Michael Bay crap. That's like the best way of describing his movies.
Oh, it's terrible. Those films are terrible. There's so much wrong with the first 5 minutes of Revenge of the Fallen. That's about all I'd love to fall down.
You've said multiple times.
Okay, well, I won't say it again then. But I will. I'll just put my camera on a minute and show you this one. Richard, name the Transformer.
What's that? Cybertron, the Ultron.
It ends in "un."
Yeah, it's the planet.
Yeah,
the Megatron, Cybertron,
Unicron.
There we go.
Unicron. That's it. Yeah. Do the planet thing. Yeah, that's it's I've had this for a long time. It does actually transform into the robot itself. I haven't done that for years. It just sits on top of my record player. I've got all the little there's these little missile bays there. There. Here. Those missile bays. I've got those in a jar over that way somewhere. Yeah, I love this thing. It's a wonderful toy. I just haven't turned it into the whole. I mean, the arms pop out of here. These things become the arms, and the leg. These things become the feet. It's a wonderful design. It cost about £60. I bought it when I was a student on eBay. I don't know how many years ago, but yeah. Just sits on top of the record player.
My favourite Transformer was Soundwave.
Oh, I've got one of those. My brother, thanks to my late brother, he left me his Soundwave. Have you still got yours?
No, I don't have any toy. I never had any Transformer toys.
But you said your favourite was Soundwave. What you mean from the films and stuff?
Yeah, from the cartoons. I love Soundwave. I don't really see what's the talk about the Bobby Kent murder so far, if I'm honest. Other than the person that masterminded it is out and everybody else is in. Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Who, me?
No, I was talking to SoFlo.
I thought so.
I don't get it. It seems a bit weird. Whatever. Anyway, I'll look into it maybe for next week's.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Anything else, or do you want to wrap up?
No, not particularly. I've had a very ADHD riddled week. I've jobs that things that I'm supposed to have taken 20 minutes have taken 2 days. Been a bit tedious at my end, but nothing to worth wax lyricaling over there. Not really. Not whinged about ADHD enough, probably as much as I've whinged about the first 5 minutes of Revenge of the Fallen.
Yes, you have mentioned that several times.
No, maybe that can be a running joke. Have I ever told you about it? But then that probably would happen by accident. I'll probably forget we've talked all about it tonight.
I don't know. It's obviously something that really pissed you off.
Oh, I just really, it was just to get so many things wrong in the first 5 minutes of a film was stunning. But anyway, I won't. Come on, out the rabbit hole, Tom. We're not going there. We're going to say goodnight.
Yeah, well, that'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from Tom. Good night, everyone.
Night, everyone. Take care.